So we have already seen the concept of sequence, and we have seen that sequence is the execution of steps. Execution of steps, one after another. And then we have taken a look to the second construct, which is selection. Selection is based on decision making. And we have seen that when we speak of selection, we have two types of construct, the if statements, and then we have the case statements. Sequence is when we need to execute one step after another. We can't miss a step in between. Selection is about decision making, where we have an if statement, which is checking a given condition. And if this condition is obeyed, we're going to choose between two different paths. Same for case. We have seen when it gives different conditional statements. And based on this conditional statement, we execute appropriate programming statements. Now, to begin the discussion about repetition, let me start with a very simple example to help you understand the concept of repetition. Let's say you have a program, a program that wants to output 1 to 100. That is, on the screen you see number 1 to 100. Now we know that to output a particular number we'll use output 1, then we'll use output 2, then we'll use output 3. Now in this particular example, when we want to output number 1 to 100, it becomes very difficult to write 100 output statements. Because if you take a look, it's almost the same instruction where output is being repeated in each of these statements. Now, we can say it is a form of repetition because it is executing same type of statements repeatedly or more than once. Sometimes a repetition or a loop, like we say, may execute only once. So repetition is an execution of statements of almost same type. Now we're going to start with one type of repetition which is known as for loop, and we have the second type of loop which is also known as the repeat until, and then we have the while loop. Each of them, they are different to one another. So as such, iteration, also known as loop, and we can also call it repetition, is a term given to the repetition of a block of statement, like we have seen output 1, output 2, output 3. Within a computer program, we are repeatedly doing something, therefore you can think of it as loops, and this particular construct of repeating a block of statements is known as iteration. There are three types of iteration that you need to know: the for to next, repeat until, while do, and while. And we're going to study them in the upcoming lessons.